Hello everyone, welcome back. It's Paula here with Paula's Imperfect Plans. Happy Friday. It is payday here for us, and so we are closing out our July 25th paycheck as it is now payday on August 8th. I don't even remember what I was going to say. Okay, so paycheck. We are a 2-income household. We both work full-time. We live in rural Iowa. Yeah. So my paycheck was $1206.34. $1721.44 was my husband's. I now know that that'll be his consistent wage after his raise hit. All right. And so I have a bunch of other categories and not enough room. So I'm going to go through what they are. $8.85 was our roundups for when we do our weekly cash spending. I had 49 cents of rollover from our budget from the last pay period. The interest on the high yield savings account was $40.05. I got $125 from donating plasma. We put in a completed savings binder of $244. And then $325 for a week of daycare comes back into our budget that we didn't have to spend on childcare costs. So that is a total of $743.39. If I add that to $1721.44 and $1206.34, that leaves us with $3,671.17 of inflow to bring into our budget. Coming down to our fixed expenses, the second half of our internet bill was $29.11. What is happening? Ooh, I hate it here. Okay. My phone bill was $196.10. Donation was $40.23. $131 set aside for life insurance. We put $100 away for car and home insurance, $35 into our vehicle registrations, $10 in $10 to the workout sinking fund and $10 to Mint, and then $200 went toward daycare. So let's add up those fixed expenses. All right, so $751.44 is our total fixed expenses cost. If I subtract that from $3671.17, that leaves us with $2,919.73 to budget. So I will bring that amount down to our savings. I switched the savings at variable because I need more room. And so in our savings categories, we did put $75 into our emergency fund, $50 into the vacation sinking fund, $20 into the propane sinking fund, $50 into the kids sinking fund, nothing into medical because we had a medical bill that we paid, $40 for Christmas cash, $15 into the holiday binder, and $200 into the mini binder. So that is exactly what we thought it was going to be at $450. So if I take $2,919.73 and subtract $450, that leaves us with $2,469.73. Then we move up to variable expenses, which are pretty high this pay period. 2,400, which is why we don't have more in savings or debt. 6,973. I actually went through the cash envelopes and took out what I didn't, actually took out of the envelopes and kept track of the actual amount spent, and then kept track of what cash rollover came from where. So in groceries, we actually spent $281. $140 of spending was spent, $50 of beauty. Work meals was nothing. Drinks got $50. Dining out, we used $99. We didn't actually use that 30 for car washes, but I'm going to roll it over and leave it in there. $18 for kids allowance. Our Amazon subscriptions, which is like all of our household stuff, was $131.85. Nothing for diesel, nothing for school lunch, nothing for Target. Those things are all, Target is pull-ups, school lunches. This is diesel for my husband's truck, and that gets paid with the first paycheck, not the second. Quick Start Gas, I did put $200 on our gas cards. I had a medical expense and out-of-pocket dental expense of $155, so we cash flowed that instead of funding the medical sinking fund. We had, I don't even remember now, but a part for my Suburban was $91.97. And then I got a big old roll of stamps. We were almost out before the cost went up earlier or in July, so that is $73. And in these variable cash amounts where you see amounts that are different from what we planned to take out, all of those, I took the cash back out. So $69 there, 10 from drinks, and $1 from dine out. That all went to cash rollover. So our total and variable expenses was $13.20 and 11 cents. If I subtract that from $24.69.73 that we started our variable category with, we're left with $1,149.62. That sure doesn't feel right, but here we are. So let's look and see what we've got. So we took, I've got the debt binder as a category. I've explained this somewhat, but just like, I still wanted to do some challenges. So some is going into the debt binder and some is going directly onto the card. So I feel like I'm making progress there and I'm still getting to do fun stuff in my debt binder. So in the debt binder, we put our $40 from high yield savings interest. I put $125 from the week of plasma. And then I put $80, which was our cash rollover. So $245 went into our debt binder. And then if we look at what we put on the Wells Fargo payment, so $326.77 was the initial amount after, when the actual bill amounts came up. That was what we took directly from the budget. And then $244, the completed debt binder amount, went onto the Wells Fargo card. And then 1 week, I said that we put a week of our daycare costs back in. The kiddo who watches our kids, this summer, she had a deteriorating family member. Anyway, so she took a week off. And so I took the amount that we normally pay her and just put that on debt. So that was $895.77. And then our cash budget amount, not our cash budget, but our, at the end of our paycheck budget here, we had $8.85 still in the budget after all of the roundups and such. So we also put that amount on the Wells Fargo card for a total of $904.62. So let's make sure $904.62 and $245 does equal the $1149.62 that we had when we came down into our debt category, which does leave us with a zero-based budget. So that is the end of this. If you have any questions or comments, suggestions, anything like that, please leave them below. And like this video if you enjoyed it. And if you'd like to come back and see some more of our content and follow on our debt journey here, I would love to have you. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye.